Okay, so what are we going to do with this equation? Well, the form that we want, remember that log base b, and it's not necessarily always base 2, the log to base b of a equals capital B. Now capital B and lowercase b are not the same, but I'm going to use b here. And I'm going to use b here because I've been using b here. If I'd have thought forward, I'd have probably used c, but I didn't. Okay. Capital B is a different symbol than lowercase b. Can we accept that?
Yes.
I'll write the lowercase b way smaller than this so we won't confuse them. Two different versions of the same letter of the alphabet, but they're two different symbols. Okay, so this means that b, little b raised to the big B equals a. Now, I don't like b's. I start blubbering when I have too many b's. Okay. So I'm going to do what maybe I should have done. It doesn't make any difference what you call these letters. So I am going to do what I probably should have done. I'm going to replace the B with a C so I don't have to blubber. Okay? So we don't get confused between the different B's. Right?
Yeah.
That way I don't have to say lowercase b and capital B every time I write a B. And it would be or not and. Okay, well, anyway. Okay, so is this equation in this form? You see a log up here anywhere?
Nope.
Well, it's not in this form, is it?
No.
Is it in this form?
Roughly.
Not quite. Okay.
Almost.
You see anything except a B and a C here? Do you see a B and a C up here? Yeah, you see a B and a C, right? You got 4 there. There's nothing else but B to the C in this form. You got to put it in this form, right?
Yep.
So how are you going to do that? I would divide.
Yeah,
by
divide
4.
both sides by 4.
Okay? So, not quite in the second form, right? It will be if we divide by 4. And of course, that means divide both sides by 4. I didn't want to write out all those words. There's another B in both, you know. Okay, so we got 4 times 2 to the x plus 1 equals 16. We divide both sides by 4. And not surprisingly, we get 2 to the x plus 1 equals 4.
Wait,
Okay?
it was 1.6.
Oh, it's 1.6.
It's a 0.4.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, peripheral vision. Okay. So anyhow, now we have it. In the form B to the C equals A. Where A equals 0.4 and C is what?
X plus 1.
Yeah, it's got an X.
Yeah.
X plus 1, right? Now I've sneaked something else in on you. We've also got B here, right? Little b. And little b is now 2. Okay? So, we get what? Log base b of a equals c. Gives us log base 2 of 0.4 equals x plus 1, right? Okay. So x equals log base 2 of 0.4 minus 1. Now log base 2 of 0.4 is about negative 1.2 maybe. Okay? How do I get that? Well, I've got a picture of the log function in my head now after doing a couple of estimates. So I can draw a graph and see where 0.4 is and see what that gives me for the log, right? And I think it's about 1.2. So I'll say it approximately equals question mark. And I said 1.2, negative 1.2. Yeah, the log of 0.5 is negative 1, if you know the numbers from the basic graphs. And you know, got a good ability to remember that, like I might or might not, because I might or might not be right here. Okay? So I'm thinking with a question mark, because anytime I think, there's a question mark involved. Okay? This is negative 1.2 minus 1, which is negative 2.2. Now, how do we check this? Well, we take 4 times 2 to the negative 2.2. And see if we get 1.6. And I'm sorry, x is negative 2.2. X plus 1 would be negative 1.2, right? That's better because I was getting a little worried. Okay? So, 4 divided by 2 to the negative 1.2, and 1.6 isn't too far off. Okay? Now, you would do it using your calculator, right? To evaluate log base 2 of 4, what would you do?
You take
Log base 2 of 0.4 equals log of 0.4 divided by the log of 2. Okay? And I think that might come out around negative 1.2. So my approximation with a question mark, I'm thinking that should be kind of close to negative 1.2 based on what I know about the graph. Okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the closest, within, that's the round off to 2 significant figures. But I could be off. Could be negative 1.1. I don't think it's negative 1.3, but maybe. Okay? Again, you can make the estimate too, and I recommend that you do. I recommend that you sit there with a hand-drawn graph of log base 2 and make an estimate. You don't even have to draw the projection lines. You can just do it in your head and see where it comes out. And make sure that what your calculator gives you is consistent with your estimate. Doesn't mean it has to be exactly the same. It's got to be kind of close, or either your estimate or your calculator, or your use of the calculator has an error in it. So that's how you reconcile errors. So I recommend you do that.